Did you know that ChatGPT is making you dumber? It is a scientific reality that is happening right now. An alarming new study from MIT has just discovered that using artificial intelligence to write or solve problems doesn't make you smarter. In fact, it is disconnecting your neurons. Scientists have found that communication between different areas of your brain drops by half when you let AI think for you. If you don't want your brain to become dependent and lazy, you need to understand what cognitive debt is before it's too late. To understand this phenomenon, researchers at the MIT Media Lab, one of the most prestigious research laboratories in the world, designed a very revealing experiment. They gathered over 50 people and divided them into 3 groups to write a complex essay. The first group worked using only their own knowledge. The second group could use search engines like Google, and the third group had full access to ChatGPT. What's incredible is that they measured everyone's brain activity with electrodes while they worked. They wanted to see, literally, how the lights in the brain turned on while we think. The results are chilling. The group that used ChatGPT showed a drastic drop in brain connectivity, especially in the waves we use for deep thinking and creativity. It's as if the brain, seeing that the machine is doing the hard work, decides to go to sleep. Scientists discovered that these people were not processing information, they were merely supervising it. In fact, when the exercise ended, 83% of those who used AI were unable to remember a single sentence of what they had supposedly just written. In other words, the knowledge never entered their minds, it simply passed them by. But the most worrying part is what they called cognitive debt. In the second part of the study, everyone was forced to write a new essay, but this time without any technological help. Those who had grown accustomed to using ChatGPT were blocked. They had lost their mental agility and critical capacity compared to those who exerted effort from the beginning. It's like stopping going to the gym and then trying to lift 100 kilos overnight. The brain is like a muscle, and if you stop using it to think, it weakens. Even when comparing AI users to those who used Google, the difference was enormous. When searching on Google, you still have to read, filter, and decide what is useful. That keeps your brain awake. But with AI, you receive the answer ready to copy and paste, eliminating the entire reasoning process. The professors who reviewed the essays noted that the AI-generated texts were perfect in grammar, but felt empty, lacked original ideas, and were completely robotic. This experiment is fascinating and eye-opening, but it is also deeply concerning. To be honest, I am worried, especially when thinking about the future. We are seeing a generation grow up that is beginning its learning process directly with artificial intelligence. Children and young people who, before forming their own judgment or the ability to research on their own, start asking AI and begin to trust its answers. My great fear is that this generation could create a high dependency on intelligent algorithms, where critical thinking is replaced by the convenience of an AI solution. What will happen when these generations have to make important real-life decisions and rely solely on what an AI says? What happens when the AI is wrong, when it has biases, or when it simply hallucinates information, something we know happens more often than we'd like? If we lose the ability to question, to doubt, and to reason for ourselves, we become incredibly vulnerable. When we let a machine decide what is true and what is not, we are giving up control over our own lives. We run the risk of becoming mere spectators of our own thoughts, instead of the protagonists. But not all is negative. The good news is that we still have time to use these tools intelligently. It's about finding a balance, leveraging technology as a support, not as a replacement for our thinking. We can use AI as a starting point, but always questioning, verifying, and adding our own reflection. I would love to know what you think about this. Do you think we still have time to set healthy boundaries for the use of these technologies? How could we teach new generations to use them without losing their ability to think for themselves? Share your opinion in the comments. This is a topic that affects us all, and together, we can find the best answers.